Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to my second video on Boom Beach. Today's strategy is actually going to be the Riflemen and Zooka strategy, also known as Rooka, as you can see here. Hope you guys liked my first video on Heavy Zooka. I want to apologize because that was a really long video. Didn't expect that, but this one will be shorter. I've got about 5 bases here for you, something like that. This one is pretty similar to Heavy Zooka in the sense that you're rushing your troops, pretty much creating a wall of force, and they're just going to destroy everything. Here, the Riflemen actually serve the same purpose as the Heavies. In the last video, they act as a shield, but in this case, because you have so many troops, it's really effective against your single target defenses like snipers, boom cannons, and it's really weak against splash damage like rockets especially, and shock launchers, and flamethrowers will eat up your riflemen, but actually will be good against Zookas. And same thing with machine guns. They won't really affect your Zookas as long as your riflemen are there, but they will eat your riflemen up pretty fast. And then of course mortars are the other splash damage defense. The good thing is that these two can actually be avoided most of the time because of how short their range is, but the mortar is one thing you're going to have to worry about, and then especially rockets and shock launchers. Another thing I want to go over before I start attacking is that some people use Riflemen Zooka and Heavy Zooka with some medics to go along, and I know if you paid real close attention to my last video, you noticed I didn't bring up the strategy Heavy Zooka medic or Rifle Zooka medic. I just did Riflemen Zooka and Heavy Zooka. And the reason I don't like using medics is because while they do like extend the life of your heavies especially, or I mean I guess they could save some riflemen, I just don't think it's worth losing an entire boat of Zookas or an entire boat of heavies. I think it's better to just take the full force as it is. I mean, I've used medics in some cases, but I've just never found it to be as effective as just taking all Heavy Zooka or all Riflemen Zooka. And that's with Riflemen especially, because like everything one-shots a Rifleman, like everything kills it in one shot pretty much. So medics don't really serve a great purpose. Maybe if I had another boat, but even at that, I think I would still go half and half, which is what I normally like to take when I do that troop combination. Another thing is that people like to use riflemen with tanks, or like heavies with tanks. And while that is, like, it used to be pretty plausible because tanks did double damage to tanks, or I'm sorry, cannons did double damage to tanks. Now they don't, so it really just takes away from the benefit that tanks have this super long range. When you put riflemen in the mix, now you got to worry about splash damage, defenses, mines, stuff you didn't really have to worry about when you just use tank medic. Okay, that was a long discussion, but now let's get into some rating here.
What are you doing?
Bella, I'm making a video.
You're crazy.
Okay then, my little sister. Okay, so what you're going to want to take here, like I said before, oh, this guy's a statue boost. Oh well. You're going to want to get rid of rockets. Oh, by the way, I did just get another, what is it called? I wonder if that one's even in range. Just take it out anyway. I got another gunboat statue. It's a guardian, but it did give me quite a bit more energy. So, oh wow. So that is probably going to help me quite a bit. Okay, so let's just take this from the side. We're going to release them similar to the way we released the Heavy Zooka, because it is a rushing type strategy like the other one was. We'll just throw a quick shock bomb since we've got this machine gun and flamethrower there in front. And one thing I want to note is that you don't have to be scared of the boom cannons, because they will really just take out one rifleman at a time, and it doesn't affect your strategy all that much. So here we're going to move to the side, shock these defenses again, and then send my troops closer so they'll start taking them out. That mortar is going to be, oh man, there's 3 mortars over here. throw that health pack down, and what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna rush the headquarters and hope that I can beat those mortars, which if you see, you can definitely do that. It is definitely plausible to just rush the headquarters and let your troops do the work before the Bella, ask mom. Then hold on, I'll be right there. Sorry, that was my sister. I'm gonna go ahead and help her out and just let my troops rebuild in the process, so I'll be right back, guys. Alright guys, we're back. Sorry about that, I had to help my sister out with some math homework, but my troops are now finished. It's raining on the base, life is good. My radar just finished. I'm gonna try to upgrade my vault now with the rating that I'm gonna do, and I bought this set of clouds to find this resource base, because I just need one more resource base. I'll show you right now. Just need one more resource base to get some gems. I think it's right here. Yeah, so I'll take over this resource base later today and get a few gems. It looks like, oh, quick tip, see how this says resource base without like a person's name next to it? Sometimes it's like Frank's resource base or Jack's resource base. This just says resource base, so when you take this over, don't worry about rebuilding it because no one's going to take it over. It's just for the keeping. And all these flamethrowers and mortars mean that do not use Riflemen Zooka. Okay, I forgot to boost my statues too. Just gonna boost this one. And here is the new gunboat energy I was telling you about. So that means that I actually have 78 gunboat energy now. I would invest in gunboat statues if you haven't already. And as you can see, I'm a big resource reward enthusiast. I think it just makes everything so much easier. You don't have to raid as much. And then if you don't raid as much, you don't have as many victory points, so you don't get raided. Or you don't get matched up with extremely hard players. Okay, so let's go ahead and take this out. This guy doesn't have a shock launcher. Sweet. Okay, so I'm going to go on the left side so that I don't have to worry about these mines. Oh, but actually, there's two flamethrowers over here. This one can be avoided if I attack from this side. So I'm just going to barrage these mines. And then continue to take out the splash damage ones. Okay. Release all the troops there in one spot, so they avoid the mines. That's why I didn't spread them out the way I did in the past. And then they're gonna run through the mines anyway. I'm gonna shock this mortar. I'm gonna put a health pack where that mortar's shooting, and another health pack here for the flamethrower. Come on, beat it, beat it, beat it, beat it, beat it. Okay, my health pack's beating them. Okay, let's play this way. Perfect timing for when they oh man. Okay. Throw another health pack for that machine gun up there. And then they should be taking this out really fast, and I'll just flare to the headquarters and shock these guys in case the flamethrower turns. And look how fast that HQ goes down. Sweet. Lost about, I don't know, a little less than 10 riflemen on each boat. And that's not bad. As long as you lose Zookas with this strategy, you can actually keep attacking. Wow, it's raining again. That's actually pretty rare to get rain twice. Alright, so I'm actually just going to attack again without rebuilding my troops, because you can do that with this strategy. You'll see you don't really need all of your riflemen. Okay. So there's a lot of defenses up here in front. I'm actually going to show you a flanking maneuver that I've learned how to use. And let's go ahead and check that out. Basically what I'm going to do is release my troops here, drop some pre-smoke, then I'm going to flare to this side so they walk around this edge, and then flare all the way to the back here. And you will see that it is a very effective maneuver. Let's do this. You will need quite a bit of gunboat energy. What I like to do is only worry about defenses that will immediately affect me, so that I ensure that I don't run out of gunboat energy. Because if you run out of gunboat energy, like right here, your Zookas will die. In fact, all your troops will die. I'm going to clear up one of the mines here. And check this out. I'm going to release my Zookas first, because they are slower than the riflemen. And if you're doing this with heavies, although I've never really done it with heavies, they are still slower than heavies. So let's release them. Then I'll drop some pre-smoke here. I'll throw my flare over here, and hopefully that mine doesn't do damage. Get rid of this mine too. Oh man, smoke. Oh, that was close. Okay, now I'm gonna flare up to the top here. Keep throwing my smoke. You can see pretty much no one is dying. And after this point, I don't think anyone is gonna kill off any of my troops. And that's pretty much how you do a smoking flank. I don't think I've really lost anyone. I'm gonna flare back there to avoid that boom cannon. Even though it is just gonna pick off one troop. Since they're far back, it's gonna be picking them off pretty rapidly. So now I'm gonna start taking out that guy. Just 2 more buildings. Oh man. Okay, I'm gonna throw health back instead. And then we'll take it out. And I'm gonna let them get some more energy. Then you'll see I'm just gonna shock some of these defenses right there, flare them to the headquarters, and they will take it out really fast. There goes the HP. Boom. And I mean, in this case I lost more than I really wanted to, but he had a lot of his range defenses in the back to pick off troops. That's what they were there for. And that's why that didn't work as well. But it still worked pretty good. You can see none of my Zookas died again. But, oh look, see, and in the time that we raided, you got back about half your riflemen, and you can actually go on another raid. So let's go ahead and do this. Here's another base. I wouldn't try doing a flanking maneuver on a base like this, because, you know what, let's just try it. He does have a shock launcher, and he has 2 rockets. Let's see how this goes. I am going to try the flanking thing, so let's take that out, and let's take advantage of the double shot here, so we can get more energy with the... Oh, wow. Alright, I wasn't expecting that. Okay, but I still have 56, and there really isn't any more than just this mine up here. So, I should be able to do this fairly easily. There is a flamethrower here though, so this might get a little sketchy. Let's see, and then I'm eventually going to flare them here. So I may have to shock the mortars or something. But if I do flank, I'll avoid these 2 splash damage defenses, which is something that is desirable. So let's go ahead, send my Zookas in first, then my Riflemen. Do my pre-smoke, flare to that spot, and smoke them up. You can see the flamethrower got hold of some of those riflemen, but not a big deal. And once they gather around there, then we'll flare to that spot. Take about 2 more smoke, and we'll just not even smoke where they're gonna land. Shock that mortar, even though it did get a shot off. You can see it didn't kill any of my troops. And now another mortar is gonna be in play. So we're gonna shock this one again, and throw a health pack over here for that one, and a health pack over here for those riflemen. And now we're just gonna flare here. Actually, that wasn't a good idea, but they'll take it out anyway. And not too many casualties. I did lose some Zookas on this one, but not so many. So yeah, I do want to note that using that smoking technique is pretty rough if you have a low level smoke. I do like to level up all my stuff, so I'll show you right now that my smoke is upgraded about a few levels. Yeah, I see it's level 5. So you may think that, it's just smoke, like you don't need to upgrade it, but you wouldn't be able to do stuff like that if you didn't upgrade your smoke, because your Zookas go so slow. Excuse me, just burped. Your Zookas go so slow, and they'll literally keep going, and the smoke will run out, and then rockets target your Zookas, or mortars, flamethrowers, and they just die with anything. So I would invest in upgrading your smoke. And even with smoky warriors, it helps, because a lot of the times you get them there, and then by the time you flare to the headquarters, that smoke runs out and your troops die. So yeah, just keep that in mind. I actually already have enough to upgrade the vault. Why not? A day and 1 hour. This took a day. This took a day and a half. Wow, like, I don't get to play anymore because it takes so long to upgrade everything. I'm just gonna get gold and find a new spot. Let's make it 500. I'll just save up for that. I try to get resource base clouds first because I don't know if you've noticed, I have all my resource bases, and I like having resource bases because no one can actually take the loot that your resource bases get. So it's pretty desirable to have your resource bases, even if you don't have like boosted statues or anything like that, like ice statues. It still works. Like, even if you get raided a lot, it's probably more effective to get resource bases if you get raided a lot, because people can't touch those resource based boats. So yeah, just a heads up. Okay, this has a lot of splash damage defenses here in the front, so this would be another case where I could smoke over here to the side, even to the back, because really nothing is going to be touching me. But he does have 3 rockets. What HQ is he? 19, oh my god. Okay, that's rough. I can actually, nope, he's got boosted. I would have been able to one-shot that. Alright, let's just go. Okay, I'm gonna try to artillery this mortar, but I'm gonna lean it a little towards the bottom here. So you'll see it should be able to take out the mortar. Nope, never mind. I'm just gonna take them both out. What I was trying to do is have one of the defenses get taken out and the other one get weakened, so that it would take only 1 artillery shell to take out that specific defense. But didn't work out as I wanted it to. Let's go ahead and take that out. Take this one out. Prioritizing the little rocket for last, because honestly it's not much of a big deal if it's just a level 1 rocket. Gotta clear some of those mines. I'm actually pretty nervous about this base. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and get ready to heal up these riflemen. The mortar's pretty low level. Okay, these guys are getting destroyed over here. Okay, so most of the splash damage defenses are out. I'm gonna go ahead and shock right here. Come on, take out that flamethrower. Alright. Most of my guys are dead. This isn't good. Okay, they should be able to take out that rocket by themselves. Look at that rifleman. Took that out like 2 shots. Okay, desperate moment here. I have no riflemen except John. Oh, John died. Okay, oh my god, my Zookas. As you can see, when there's not a lot of numbers, they aren't as effective. But still successful run. This guy is, although he's a level 46, his defenses are pretty buffed. And he did have a boost here, you can see, for both damage and health. And he did have an extra rocket that I wasn't expecting. But we got the job done. Let's buy this cloud really fast. And I don't know if I already said this, but I like to scout so that I can get an idea of the loot, so that I don't have to like scout it to see what the loot is. And also because I like to make sure that all my bases offer a good amount of loot. So I like to set a goal. My particular goal is to have at least 100,000 stone, probably about 50,000 iron, and 100,000 or above on wood and gold too. And if they're not, then I'll just wait a day and I'll find a new opponent. And that way, by the time I want to clear my map or something, all the bases on my map offer a huge amount of loot, plus my resource reward statue, and it just makes everything easier as far as upgrading goes. That's how I was able to like upgrade this without having to save up for like a week like I normally would have to. And same thing with that radar that I upgraded yesterday. Okay, so let me show you that resource base. This one's iron. It's pretty good because I don't actually have that much iron. And you can see how I was saying earlier how that this resource base just says resource base, and this resource base says ocean's resource base. I think that says ocean. I'm copying Nick at Night there for all of you guys that don't know. And I don't think this is a Riflemen Zooka attack because of those rockets. And this actually wouldn't be a heavy Zooka attack either because of all these boom cannons. They would just eat up. Like, if you think about it, these are all going to one-shot heavy Zooka. They're going to one-shot your heavies, or maybe two-shot them. So your heavies are going to die pretty fast. Once your heavies are dead, these rockets are going to take out your Zookas, and that's not good. So what I would actually use is Smoky Warriors, and that's actually going to be in the next episode. But for now, let me let those troops rebuild, and I'll be back in just a second, guys. Alright guys, we are back. My troops are built, and this video is actually already 20 minutes long, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up with just one more base. Hopefully I can sum up strategies and tips that I talked about. So the first one being that rocket launchers and shock launchers are going to be the first priority to be taken out for this attack strategy. Yes, sweet. Clutch barrage. Mortars, machine guns, and flamethrowers are all hazards to the strategy also, but they can be counteracted with some medkits. Second thing I want to discuss is that mines are going to be an issue too, so you can use a quick barrage to get rid of some if they're in a group. You can also use a mine if they're one unit apart. I could use an artillery there, and it would be able to take out both of those mines. Well, you can't see where I'm pointing, but right there. Then a tip for doing the flank would be that you want to start with your Zookas since they are slower, and then just make sure that you all release them in one spot and put a smoke on that spot. You want to release as far to the corner as possible so that you can predict where they're going to walk. If you go somewhere up there, you don't know exactly what path they're going to take, but you can guess pretty accurately if you release them in one corner. Don't have enough energy for another smoke, so I'm going to let them attack from there. Oh man, they're getting out of the smoke and dying. Alright, let's flare them up here. And I'm going to shock these 4 defenses. Boom. And a medkit so that that rifleman doesn't die. Okay, we're going to run into these. I'm going to shock all 3 of those at once. If they're like 1 unit apart here, you can actually shock all 3 defenses. Something to keep in mind. Ooh. Alright, medkit. And the last thing that I kind of talked about was rushing your troops. Well, I didn't get to, but you saw how fast they destroyed the headquarters. It's one thing they have going for them is the amount of damage they can do is just ridiculous. So don't be afraid to just rush the headquarters and shock some defenses. It's like a mix of a warrior rush and the heavy Zooka rush. It's all pretty good. Woo, clan war. Alright, that's gonna wrap up this video, guys. I hope you learned a couple of things from this strategy. Like I was saying before, I do like using just Riflemen and Zooka. I don't really like putting medics in there because the riflemen die pretty fast anyway. The medics don't really do much, and it's not worth giving up an entire boat of Zookas or an entire boat of riflemen. That's just my thoughts on it. Other people may have different thoughts. Another thing is I don't like putting riflemen with tanks because if you look at the damage that a tank does, here it is. My tank will do about 400 damage per second, and I can hold 2 tanks, so I can say about 800, maybe 900 damage, versus the Zookas. 1 Zooka alone will do more damage than a tank, and I can hold 10 Zookas on my boats. So that's, you can do the math, but that's about 10 times more effective than using tanks. So why would you put tanks behind riflemen when you can just put Zookas behind riflemen? Another thing is using like, what was it, like tanks and Zookas, or heavies and tanks? I don't know, like look at this. Look at the health on the tank is, for me, about 5,000, and the health on a heavy is just under that, about 4.4 thousand. But I can hold 5 heavies on my boat versus only 2 tanks, so regardless, I can still hold more, like I still have more health if I use heavies, and if I use heavy Zooka, I have more health and I have more damage. So the only thing that really makes tanks useful is their range. So that's why the only strategy I really use tanks for is for tank and medic, and you'll see on my last video that I also use Scorcher in tanks. But that's just my thoughts on it. I mean, people can do whatever you want, really. If you're really overpowered compared to the people on your map, you can use whatever strategy you want, and as long as you take out the right buildings, that's what works. But yeah, just show you my rifleman real fast before we go. They're level 18. I have a boost, pretty good damage boost, and my health boost could use some work, but these are the only attack statues I have. And then again, I do have these 3 gunboat statues that do help a lot. And my Zookas, you saw them earlier, but here you go, level 17. Alright guys, thanks for watching, hope you learned some more, and look forward to seeing some smoky warriors in the next video. Have a good day.